It's the Chattin Breeze podcast.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Chattin Breeze podcast. It's me, Don the Hippie, flying solo today. We've got a great guest coming up, actor-director. He starred in films such as Halloween Kills, Freddy vs. Jason, Hellboy, the great Douglas Tait. So everyone, Douglas Tait.
Hey!
Hey, how you doing? So
Good,
how
man.
have you been?
I have been excellent. I've been so busy lately, but just so blessed to be working and doing what I love. I'm a part of some really cool stuff that I think people listening will enjoy hearing. So,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. So I know you've just come back from a convention.
Yes.
What are
yes.
those like? What is it like to be?
I'm telling you. Oh, go ahead. Yes.
And I was like, what's it like to be there and people coming for you?
Dude, it is so amazing. I think it's one of the greatest things I could say about doing what I do and being a part of this whole horror community. They are the coolest people. I'm telling you, man. And I'm not just talking in the States, it's everywhere. It's like the UK. You guys have such amazing horror fans there. It's weird how this community comes together. I get people from Germany, Brazil, Spain that are on my pages that message me. It's wild. It's so awesome. Like you, I mean, you found me and here we are talking because we all enjoy these movies.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
To me, it's from being a child, I loved being scared.
Yes, me too.
I needed, like, me and my brother, which if you, throughout the podcast, like I talk about him a bit in other episodes, but my brother, he had an earlier bedtime than me and he was like 5 years my senior.
Yeah.
Because I would be up watching horror films at 12.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
And I was a big horror fan. I'm a big movie fan.
Me too. I'm a huge movie fan. I'm not just a horror fan. I'm a movie fan, but I always loved Halloween and dress up. I loved haunted houses. I loved horror movies. I loved getting scared just like you. And I love Halloween, the movie, and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And I just got like blessed with so much to be able to be a part of them, because when you're a fan and you grow up watching Michael Myers and then you get to put that mask on, or you get to work with Freddy Krueger, who you grow up being so, I mean, it's all, the only word I could use, and I've said it a million times, is it's surreal. It's absolutely 100%. Surreal.
100%.
Yes. Yep.
So when you said yes to coming on, first of all, my mind was blown. I've got, this is like, well, my wife will be my witness, but I was like, I've got Jason. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, Jason Voorhees is coming on my podcast.
Oh, and man.
To me, the fact that you managed to play both Jason and Michael Myers. That to me, that's unbelievable.
It's like the holy grail of horror, iconic characters. I mean, like, it's just insane, especially for me, Michael Myers, because that was the one that I really loved more than any other.
There's something about him, isn't there?
I don't know what it is, but I'm, like I said, all around the world. I'm not talking US. This is everywhere. People see that movie when they're young, like me, like you. And you know what's crazy about this? Is the coolest thing about this, going back to the conventions. what makes the Halloween fandom so unbelievably popular is the fact that I'll see a dad 45, 50 years old with his kids who are young, and they are both diehard fans of Halloween.
100%.
It's generational. That's what it is. It's generational.
And it holds its fear factor. A lot of horror films, the special effects have aged poorly. You can still get some enjoyment out of it, but
yes,
like with that, it was they knew they didn't have the special effects, and the way it was filmed was to leave a lot more to the imagination.
That's exactly it, and that's John Carpenter's genius.
100%.
John Carpenter is where he is because he is a genius, and for him to do the score, which is the most iconic horror score of all time. You know, there's a few others that are great that match, but Halloween to me has the most iconic horror score of all time. And then this guy goes on in the last two films, and when you say there's no way you can improve on what you did in the 70s, and he goes on and like enhances the same sound and makes it even better. He blows my mind, that guy.
Like goosebumps when you hear it.
Goosebumps. Did you hear the last score in those movies with the horns, and he's got all these instruments in it, and you're like, this guy is freaking amazing. Oh, he really is.
But it has the same soul.
The same, that's what I'm talking about. You cannot change what you created. You can only improve upon it, and he sure improved upon it.
100%. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So if we rewind a little bit back.
Yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit how you first entered film, because you're an actor, producer, you know, you've done a lot of mask wearing in your time.
Yes. And makeup.
Yeah,
mostly makeup.
Yeah.
Masks are easy to wear. Makeup, special effects makeup is a whole different story.
Yeah.
And then you get into an animatronic head, and that's a whole other different story.
Yeah.
I've done many of those.
That is scary stuff.
Yeah.
So what got you in initially? What was the
Okay, so basically in high school, I got the acting bug with a friend of mine who's still an actor too, and we've done stuff together. And we went on a set of a movie with Chuck Norris's son, and there was one camera. We were extras, and on that camera, you see me on the side with the woman, and then when they turn around to Chuck Norris's son, you see me and my friend jumping around. We literally got on both sides, and they never knew. But we didn't even realize it. We were just so excited to be on film. So that was the first thing. Then I got a job at Universal Studios playing Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Harry and the Hendersons. So I was performing in the park when I was 16 years old.
I didn't know about Harry and the Hendersons. So were you?
Yes. So no. So I was in the park as Harry in a show in the park. It wasn't the TV series. I was only 16 years old.
Right.
So I was doing, dressing up in costume, performing in front of an audience that came for the theme park.
Yeah.
So what's crazy is I'm the Sasquatch, right? The Jack Link Sasquatch in those beef jerky commercials.
Have you and your brother played a Sasquatch?
My brother has played a Sasquatch, actually. That's funny. You did your research, right?
It's going to be a family of Sasquatches.
Well, my brother is 6'9". He's not in the business anymore, but he's a lot taller than I am. So I'm 6'5" and he's 6'9".
Wow.
I don't know the meters.
We do
comparison.
We do feet.
Okay. So
I'm
you don't
6
do
foot,
meters.
So either way, my neck's hurting.
Okay. Yes. So he got out of the business a long time ago, but he played a Sasquatch before me in a film. Yes.
Yeah. But so he's left the film. He's left.
Yeah, he left years ago. Yeah, he just, it wasn't for him. He was talented, but he just couldn't take the rejection, and it's not an easy thing, like you really got to have a
thick skin,
thick skin. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But anyway, so that's kind of how I got my start, doing those characters, performing. And then when I got out of high school, I got an agent because I was like a really good basketball player in high school. So I got right in, booked a Navy commercial, US Navy, not a Navy clothes commercial. And got right into SAG and made money doing basketball commercials and stuff, and tried to get into film and TV at the beginning, but that's a hard one to crack. You could be a beginner and get into commercials and make money like I was doing because you don't need to have training as an actor as much. But in film and TV, you got to be trained, So it took me a while of like going to classes and pursuing it to get my first TV, and then even longer to get my first movie.
Yeah, there's levels, isn't there, to it?
There's levels, yes. Like some people will come into the business and they'll book like a print ad and several commercials right away, and they'll think, oh my God, they'll buy a new car and they'll be like, man, this acting is easy. And it's just not the way it is, because once they start going on auditions, it's more than just a look. Like commercials are a look, print is like a look, and some have dialogue where you got to have, some chops, but TV and film is not just look, man. You gotta be able to bring it. You can't just show 100%. Up. So people don't realize that. I get messages all the time about people saying, "How do I do what you do? How do I do?" And then, I'll respond to some and give them a breakdown. And nobody wants to hear the work that it takes. Like it took me like 15 years to start working consistently.
Yeah. No, it's
so yeah.
To me, it's a lot of people may have a misconception.
That's exactly what they have.
If you're in makeup, if you're in a mask, or if you're in like prosthetics, the acting side of it becomes less important. But that couldn't be further from the truth.
Absolutely, man. And that's
have
one
to
of
be
the
scary
reasons,
when people can't see if you're angry.
That's the thing. I've done so many characters in makeup and masks that it's become a skill to me, because I know how to bring it in my body, and also facial expressions have to be exaggerated. When you're acting and we're talking, it's all in like the intention behind it. I'm not going to be doing all these faces and stuff, but when you're in a makeup, you kind of have to exaggerate certain things so that the prosthetic reads it through the makeup and stuff.
100%.
So, I think that's been one of the things that has really gotten me a lot of work, doing those characters for so long and being an actor and also being physical. I'm able to understand how to bring it to life. And it's been a great journey to get these opportunities to do what I've done, for sure.
Oh yeah. You've been blessed, but it's still hard work and dedication.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it absolutely is. It's the only way. It's the only way.
Absolutely. I think the only disservice really is that you could probably, I think that 90% of the population have seen you in something. And they may never know they have.
I know. And it's all the time, because like, when I meet people and they ask me what I do, and then they say, oh, that's, oh, that's cool. You're an actor. Have I seen you in anything? And then I tell them, they're like, oh my God, I've seen all those movies. That was you. So it has its advantages and its disadvantages. The advantages is I've been able to be on TV series where I've played like 6, 7, 8 characters. Popular TV series. Whereas if I just came in as one character, that would be it,
Yeah, absolutely.
But on the flip side, there's times when I should be doing stuff out of makeup that I may not get because they don't know my face, but yet when they look at my resume, go, oh, he has worked on a lot of things and stuff. So it's a weird thing sometimes, it's a weird thing.
Do you feel that sometimes you're overlooked for parts because they're people or directors or hiring parties are saying, he's a creature?
Yes,
actor.
Yes, it's definitely happened, and I'm trying to change that. So like I'm doing a lot more stuff out of makeup. For a while there, I was getting so much work that I would take everything, and now I'm turning down jobs in makeup certain ones, and then so that I could do more stuff out of makeup. Like I'm doing a film this week out of makeup. So just to put it out there to go, because people forget, I don't know what it is. There's this thing, like you said, you have to be able to be an actor and understand it and bring it to life in makeup. But there's this misconception, as you said, that that's not really acting. So I have to show people out of makeup that I'm an actor. I've been acting for almost 30 years, you know, I've been pursuing it for a long time. And then they see it and go, oh, wow, he is a good actor. It's weird. I mean, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing.
I'm a big fan anyway, in general.
Yes, thank you.
Before I even reached out, because when I reached out without really thinking that I would get a reply back.
Okay.
You guys are busy. And I wanted to reach out and say, I'm your biggest fan. You know, I saw you in Sabrina in 2000.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
And you know, I've been like everything, Sabrina, Star Trek, Sons of Anarchy. When I saw you in Sons of Anarchy, because like I said, I was a fan, and I watched. I got onto Sons of Anarchy late. I saw you, and obviously you were a prisoner in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was like walking down.
Well, it was a stunt acting role, basically, where I'm there to beat up Kurt. Yeah. So it wasn't a background character. It was
but like you had just come in with the rest of the inmates.
Exactly.
But when I saw you, it was like I was walking down in a high street and saw, or like, you know,
so you're saying you knew who I was and you were watching it and saw, oh my God, that's Doug Tait there.
I was like, oh my God, he's there.
Yeah, people do that. They'll message me. They'll be like, I'll get those messages from that show out of the blue, like, oh my God, dude, I just started Sons of Anarchy and I saw you. That's so cool.
That was it. And I got onto Sons of Anarchy late, so I didn't watch it with a lot of other people. So I was, and like that scene was in the making for a while. You kind of were expecting him to get ran over
because he already had one eye bad, and now we're taking out the creator of the show too. He's the creator of the show.
He is,
Kurt Sutter, his eye.
And you had to you holding it. I was like, I was saying to friends, you know, that's Doug.
You know what's so cool is, like, going back to the convention, is that's what happened all weekend, is people would come up to me and go, oh my God, I remember you from this show like 15 years ago. One person was talking about Drake and Josh, the kids show Drake and Josh. Others mentioned Sabrina, others mentioned Star Trek. I mean, it's so cool that people, you know, now that I've been around for a long time, people are starting to see different things you've been in. And especially the horror fans, if I'm in a makeup, they'll know that that's me because they've seen, you know, they've seen me over the years. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and you've got a good few roles where you're wearing makeup, but it's not massively concealing.
Exactly. Yeah, you have one in the clip where I play this guy Railroad Jack. You know who Tony Todd is, right?
I watched the film.
Oh, you have seen it? Okay. Okay, cool.
So, like, anyone that hasn't seen it, Jack the Reaper, you have to go and see it. Because
okay, cool. Because I had people come up to the convention and I didn't have any of those pictures, and they're like, oh my God, you don't have any Railroad Jack pics? And I said, oh no, because it's not like a Jason or a Michael Myers where, you know, people are coming up asking me for it. So, but I should just have it, because honestly, the makeup in that, here's a little backstory on that. I was cast in the role and I was like, this character, because it in the script said his eyes are black. His eyes are black, right? He's got no, you can't see into his eyes, which is creepy for like a Halloween mask, right? Like the Michael Myers. So I said, this needs to be a really good makeup. I had just done Star Trek, and my friend who's a makeup, yes, the long face, and my friend won the Academy Award for best makeup, and he used my makeup in promotion. And I was like, I asked him, I'm like, I don't think he's going to want to do this because this is a lower budget film. And I asked him, and because he won the Oscar, he said that people were afraid to ask him to do jobs. They were like, oh, he's not going to take our job. So he wasn't getting offers. Right. And I just reached out and he said, you know what? I don't have anything. And he did it. And it's a very effective makeup.
It is. It is, and this is 10 years ago.
10 years ago, absolutely. Yeah,
10,
maybe
10,
longer.
11
maybe
years.
longer.
11 years.
11 years.
2011.
11. Yes.
So like that, you were, first of all, you're terrifying. Like
but that carnival in the background, they literally rented the biggest carnival, and we shot during the holidays, and it was in the Mojave Desert where there's nothing around, and you see this carnival, and it was really cool.
It must have been really scary, cool. Just being there.
It was just neat. There was just there was something on that movie. I just, sometimes you just get a feeling, and I said, this is cool. That what we're doing here is cool. I just knew it. I felt it, But sometimes you're just like, I don't know what this is going to be. This one, I felt it.
Your wife was in that film, wasn't she?
My wife was in it. Yes. My wife was in it. And then there's another actor. Yes. And I got her in it. And then I also got my friend, Chris Bruno, who is the other paramedic. And he's been in a million shows and movies. He was on a show called Dead Zone for a while. He was one of the leads on that. Really good actor.
Yeah. And the name has slipped me, and I hate forgetting names, but he played Candyman. He was obviously also
Tony Todd. That's the one. Yeah.
He's terrifying.
Tony Todd. He's great. He's a buddy now. Yeah, he's such a good actor. He's such a good, solid actor. I mean, he was in Platoon. He goes back so far.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for him that they redid the Candyman, and he got that role. Yeah,
his voice is iconic.
Oh, it's amazing. He's got such a deep voice. And he's big too. We're like the same height, but he's bigger. He's huge. His hands are like this. They like crush your hand.
It's like a bunch of bananas.
Oh, dude, he's great. He's great. Yeah.
So I did want to ask you about the long face in Star Trek, because it was so mobile. You were sat at the bar.
Yes.
And
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it was so amazing. Usually when they do something that big, they'll make it out of foam, because foam is a little more rigid and it will hold. But that makeup artist, Barney Berman is his name, made it out of all silicone. And if people don't know what silicone is, some prosthetics are made out of silicone. A lot of the age makeups, because it looks more like skin. Foam doesn't move like skin. Silicone moves like skin. So to have something that long made out of silicone is very rare, because it's just too heavy and big. But because it was silicone, the way it moved with my body, and there was no CGI, it was me doing all this movement, because my mouth is around where the nose is. But when I was doing stuff like this, and that would move the face, it would move the prosthetic. And that's what gave it that very realistic look.
Yeah, because if
they actually had to put a band, they had to make a strap, because as the makeup went on, it would start hanging from my chin. So they literally made a strap inside the prosthetic that they had to tie onto my head before they put all the other stuff on, so it wouldn't sag as much.
That is crazy. So for anyone that hasn't seen it at home, you have to go look. It looks like a real face.
It does. You know what people say? It looks like Ron Perlman. Everyone's like, that looks like Ron Perlman.
I'm sure he would love that.
Yeah. So you go ahead. You're saying the face. They gotta see.
And like the individual hairs that are put in the bridge of the nose and the chin. To me,
all that is hand laid. All that is hand sewn in one by one. It's not just a patch put in. That's why it looks so real.
Well, he earned his award for that. That was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah.
So you started we jumped. So you started.
I know.
And
yes.
You started in the park.
Right.
You were doing the Harry and Henderson type stuff.
Yes.
And then you got your first sort of breaks with the Frank. Was Sabrina your first TV?
Yes, I did a couple of smaller parts on TV, just like one line on like the show Seventh Heaven. You know remember that show Seventh Heaven?
I don't.
And then there's a show. It was a popular show called Seventh Heaven. With
I'll definitely look out.
With a famous actress, I forget her name. You'd know right away when you see her, but I did like a line on that as a college kid. I did a couple lines. I had a line on Mad TV where I played a character on Mad TV, which is a popular show, like a Saturday Night Live. And then my first like role that was throughout an episode was Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
But my first big movie opportunity was Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
That was my first big movie. And then I, playing a character that was so famous. And that's an interesting story on that movie.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
okay, yeah. Ears. So some of the Jason fans will know this, but those of you that don't, I auditioned for the movie and a couple different times. And what they did is they put me on like a pin where they said, are you available these dates to shoot this movie as Jason? So I was like, oh my gosh, I was up for the role to play him in the whole movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening is, and I found this out later, is like some weeks passed and I didn't hear anything and my agent checked and they're like, oh, you know what? Sorry, they went with somebody else, right? So that's all I heard. So fast forward 10 years later, I get a call to start doing conventions. They were like, hey, you played this character in the end and there's a lot of fans that have wanted to get you on their autograph, but you've never done a show. And I was like, well, I didn't even know they would want me because I only did the end scene. And they're like, oh yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, I did one with Ken and Robert Englund. Ken Kersinger played him in the whole movie except for the ending, right? And I said, dude, like I was up for this role. Like how did you ended up getting it? And he said, well, what happened was he was going in to interview with Ronnie Yu, the director, for the stunt coordinator. He was up for the stunt coordinator. Him and Ronnie Yu hit it off. He's 6'5". He's a big guy. He's like, hey, what do you think about playing Jason? He's like, of course. Yeah. So I didn't end up getting it because he's also from Canada and I'm from LA and they're shooting the movie in Canada. So he got the role. Fast forward, they already shoot the movie, right? And they are testing it. And the audience, they had an ending where Jason Ritter grows claws with Monica Keene in the bed, and then the movie ends.
Right.
And the audience was like, what the hell? Is he Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
They loved the movie. They didn't like the ending.
No.
So they came up, yeah. Yeah, that was like, what is that, right? Yeah. So the new ending that they rewrote was what it became. And they couldn't get Ken's visa in time. I asked him, why didn't they hire you for the reshoot? They were reshooting in LA, not Canada.
Mm. I'm
from LA, like I said. They couldn't get his visa in time. I was the second choice to play Jason, and I got that part. So
it was one of the most iconic parts of the film.
You know what makes me so happy about it now that I've realized, because I'm doing like at that last cut, I'm doing photo ops, right? Is that my mask is different than the one he wore.
Right.
My mask, since it's, I was in the water and everything and the fighting at the end, it became more cracked and messed up. And it's a different mask than his. And also he never held Freddy's head. So that's like my trademark, which separates us from the movie. We have a different mask, a different head.
Yeah.
I like the Freddy head thing. So which is cool because
held with no fingers.
Yes, exactly. They were nubs. Exactly. I'm actually getting that made right now. Now that I'm doing these photo ops, I'm getting a head made, and I told him how they did it, and he's going to do it with the nubs over it so that I could use it for photo ops. Yeah.
See, I think that was probably one of the best endings to a horror movie ever, because it left so much up in the air.
And that's the beauty of it. And what I realized is that they did it for that reason, because I get the same question all the time. Who won?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they wanted. That's what they wanted. They wanted you to, if you're a Freddy fan, to say Freddy won it. If you're a Jason fan, they wanted you to say, obviously Jason won. And then you fight against each other. So that it was brilliant. I think.
A bit of friendly rivalry.
Friendly rivalry, exactly.
That's it. So that brings me on to one of the questions that someone has asked.
Yes.
So it was actually my wife. Now, you have played a lot of horror characters.
Yes.
But across the board, because there's characters I wouldn't class as horror, like Verlox.
Yes. Oh yes,
from Quest isn't a horror character necessarily,
no.
but he's terrifying.
He's terrifying.
So out of all of the characters you've played, if they made a Doug Tait Royal Rumble, and put you all in a warehouse, who is walking out?
Who is walking out? Okay, like as far as fighting, right?
Yeah.
Who would win? Man, you know, Jason Voorhees is pretty. You know, Michael Myers is smarter than Jason, but Jason Voorhees, as far as what you've seen in his movies, is the most powerful. I would love to talk more about Verlox, but it didn't hit like I thought it was. But I'm telling you, that character Verlox, which you have in your in my intro,
trailer.
Yes, it's a character on a show that was so amazing that I wish it would have went on, because he had so much power. You know, he was regal yet terrifying.
Yeah,
and that was a fun one, man. But I'm gonna have to go with Jason as far as power, because he's just. You've seen what he's done. He's like thrown trees and stuff. I mean,
and he just doesn't seem. You can't keep him down.
You can't keep him down. And how do you fight someone like that?
Because he's probably one of the only horror characters that I know really that doesn't seem to succumb at all. He just seems to keep moving forward.
You can't stop him no matter what you do. It's just. That's scary.
I think I'm with you on Jason. I think the scariest horror character ever, in my opinion, was always Freddy Krueger.
Yes, and he was.
The reason for that was because of Robert Englund is slight. He's not a menacing character.
No.
But you can't go to sleep.
No. If somebody can get you in your sleep, man, that's terrifying.
Yeah. So, but I think that when they put the master of land, like awake earth killing, and someone in the fact that they jump between worlds was quite clever.
The one for me that's the most terrifying for me is, you know, and we were going back to childhood with this, because obviously now you don't get scared like you did. Was The Exorcist. That one literally gave me the chill, the goosebumps, where I couldn't even go walk past a mirror, you know, without thinking about, like, I grew up in Catholic school too. So something about that, they do exorcism and stuff, and seeing that was terrifying. And Dick Smith, the famous makeup artist, created stuff on that exorcist character, Linda Blair, when she's spinning. And I mean, that scared the hell out of me.
I think The Exorcist was a bad one. Although looking back, it's not as scary anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you're a kid and you see that, though.
But the
Poltergeist was scary too. Yeah,
that
TV
stopped me wanting to look in mirrors and things.
Yes, Poltergeist. Maybe that's the one with the mirror too. Yeah, that's true.
Because they pull you through.
Yes, yeah.
So when I was little, that was, or when you had the old analog TVs and it would be stuck on static.
Yes.
That was, so I'd think, it's going to come out of the TV. So
I love that. I love how they did that, like with the Conjuring movies where they use like TVs like that. There's something creepy about it with the sound design and stuff. It's cool.
It is. I think horror films are harder to do now because
I agree.
Your mobile phone has to run out of signal.
Yeah, I know. It really is. That's why I love how they do the Conjuring, how they do like a period. There's something about watching period that is creepier to me. I don't know.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. I've got a few more questions from guests.
Sure.
So if I can.
Sure.
Okay, let's have a look. So we have, if you weren't an actor, what would you be doing right now?
If I wasn't an actor, I'd be making films. So I'd be a part of this business.
Perfect.
Because I'm an artist at heart. I'm a filmmaker. You talk about the analog. I was editing stuff when I was a kid with 2 VCRs, little films and stuff I made. I even posted one when Halloween came out. I made a Halloween fan film in high school, editing with 2 VCRs with Michael Myers.
I saw some spoofy type ones with Michael Myers goes sledding. I saw that.
Oh yes.
That was that was.
I love doing stuff like that because I don't plan it, but I go, oh, I want to shoot myself in the snow. Yeah. Going down the snow, and then I do it, and then I just come up with like some funny little thing for the fans. I did the kickboxing one. The kickboxing one. Did you see that one?
Yeah. there's so much that like you don't take yourself too seriously either. So you've got some characters you've made up, like I can't remember his name, the one that is like a horror, a scare actor.
Yes, I have. Freddy. Well, I just like I said, oh yeah, yes. Yes, you've seen that guy? Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fun. I love that, man. I love that kind of stuff. Me and my wife actually made a pilot, and that's one of the characters in the pilot. It's about a group of people working at a haunted house in the Midwest. And it's like a comedy like The Office.
Yeah.
But in the world of haunted houses.
Right.
And that guy exists in that world.
So you do that The Office type thing where you sort of break the third wall, the fourth wall, and look at the
we didn't actually do that very, very much. We did it like a couple times. Yeah. But it's kind of the similar like documentary feel of like this group of people. And just because I've worked in that world, like there's so many funny things that happen that I put in the pilot. I would love to see that as a series. I want to get it sold as a series. But that going back to that, I don't take myself serious because I started in improv. I took improv for a while, and there's something that, like I mentioned here, I like just, riffing because that's how I work best as an actor. When things aren't planned out. No, like with the Sasquatch character, I've been doing it for so long now that the funniest stuff comes not from what's written on the page, but like just stuff in the moment that I just go with, and that's the funniest stuff.
No, absolutely, and because it's human. It's
human. Yes.
To have the stammers. It's the same as a lot of podcasts that I've seen. It all seems very clean cut, and I don't think there's a need for it. That there should be.
I think people are bored by that. Like there shouldn't be an agenda because I've had agendas in the past when I was doing these years ago. I gotta mention this and I gotta say this, and then it's never as fun.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
When you do that.
No, because then it becomes too formatted and
it's too formatic. This isn't the news. Like we're trying to we're entertaining, we're talking, we're having a good time.
Yeah. Exactly. What was your most challenging role and why?
My most challenging role was in this movie called Knights of Badassdom. And it was about the movie stars Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
While he was on set of this movie, he got the role on Game of Thrones.
Right.
So we shot it way before that. Steve Zahn's in it, and it's about this group of LARPers at a LARPing tournament that goes completely crazy. Right. And I play this huge monster called Abominog, and he had a huge animatronic head. The arms weighed like 35 pounds each. The feet weighed like 30 pounds, and they were on like a lifts, like a stilt lift.
Yeah.
They were huge, and they were bent like a high heel, and they do that because of design, but it's absolutely crazy. I had to fight and swing with bodies around me. So every time I'd swing, it would like take me off of balance. But the worst part of it all is just the fatigue from all the weight and then not being able to breathe.
But I literally
got heat stroke because they had me go like one time for like 3-minute take of like going crazy. And I pushed myself. I overdid it. And when I overdid it and it hit me, I realized, oh my God, I can't breathe. And I can't get out of this thing myself. It takes about 5 minutes of 2 people getting me out. So that moment kicked in of
panic.
Oh my God, I can't. And then the panic came in. And
I can't imagine.
By the time they got me out of it, I had to like get my head in a place where I had to focus so hard, even though I was out of breath and burning up inside. And then I remember finally being done that night and going back to my room, and I was looking in the mirror and like I couldn't see myself. I couldn't like, I wasn't there. I was just like, huh? And then I was in bed hours later, pouring in sweat with the air conditioner on. Something happened. I don't know what it was. They said it's heat stroke. I never got it diagnosed.
Did it last a while afterwards as well?
It lasted the whole night, but the next day I just felt horrible. Like my body felt horrible, and I had to work. I had to go in and get in that thing again. And I was like, it was just like, it was such a hard thing to get through. I can't explain it. Yeah. So that feeling that happened that day is the worst feeling ever. It's like being underwater and not being able to breathe and being stuck there. That's what it felt like.
That kind of thing must take its toll, like on your mind. Have you ever?
It did. It took
have
a
you
toll.
ever thought, I'm not doing this anymore?
Yes, and that's one of the things where I don't like to take jobs like that anymore. That's like, also because that's the least fun for me to do. When I was younger, I thought, oh, this is cool. But now as an actor, it's so physical, which I like physical, but that's on a whole nother level of physical. That's like, I mean, even people that are, if you're in great shape, wouldn't be able to do it because it's a mind thing too. Yeah. It's just like, it messes with your head. And then you got to perform too with all these issues. So it's not a type of character I would take again. You know, right. I don't mind doing acting and prosthetics that are physical, but that's just like, it's almost insanity. It's a different level, man.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound fun. I hear a lot of, I've heard a lot of like horror stories about people like in latex that doesn't breathe properly.
Yes.
But to be trapped in it.
Be trapped. You know what? Now that I've mentioned this, I have to send you a picture of it so you could see. Like I have it with the head off too, where there's this huge body and I have a little pinhead.
Right.
That's how big it was. So I have to show so the audience could see like what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I'll throw it up on the screen.
Yes.
So if they're watching this, because we put our podcasts on YouTube, but also on Spotify we have a video podcast. So not many people have video on Spotify. So even if you're just listening on Spotify, if you just look at your phone, turn the screen on, you'll see we've actually got video. So I'll have the image up.
Cool. Yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that sounds terribly uncomfortable.
That was gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I don't take those kinds of roles anymore.
No. So you've done you're a producer. So you've produced film. Have you got stuff you're producing at the moment, or?
No, I don't really consider myself a producer. I mean, I have, but I haven't done the work of a producer. My producing has been more just being a part of something with my wife. She's the main producer.
Okay.
But literally the movie that I directed is the thing that I'm trying to right now. We're sending to festivals. It's called Angel Baby, and that's the thing I'm pushing right now. And then I got another one that I want to do with my friend, and we just got a guy that might be interested in funding it. It's a horror. This would be like a straight like new slasher that we've come up with, where I'd play the lead and then I'd also direct it.
Nice. Yeah. Well, if you need to kill someone,
you're gonna fly out. We're gonna shoot in San Diego and in Tijuana.
Okay.
So
yes, maybe the next film.
Exactly.
If there's like a new American Werewolf in London or something, I'll be.
Yes. Exactly.
So
yes.
Is there any movie that you've seen that you've been like, I wish I got to play that character?
Well, I've always wanted to play Michael Myers. I got to do the stunt double of that, which is almost like it, but there's a little story that I don't know if you know, that I think the fans would like to hear.
Yeah.
Halloween fans. So in 2015, I got a call. This guy, Sean Clark, who's my signing agent. And he has like a horror hollow ground where he goes around and films locations of popular horror movies and talks about and shows everything. Anyways, he's done a Halloween reunion for years now, like a convention. He would have it every year or so in Pasadena. And there would be a whole tour going to the original Myers house. And he hasn't had one for a few years because of the pandemic, but he will have another one. But anyways, he's friends with Malik Akkad, whose dad, Mustafa Akkad, started Halloween. So now he's the main guy at that. And there was a movie called Halloween Returns,
right,
which Marcus Dunstan was going to direct, who directed the Collector movies, the collection. And they wrote this script, and it was Michael Myers on death row. And I went in to audition for the role and meet Malik. And I basically, Malik told me, "You're my guy." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to get to play Michael Myers in a movie." And what happened was he had a deal with Harvey Weinstein at Dimensions.
Okay.
And Harvey Weinstein, as we know now, is a creep. He's a horrible person.
He's a horror film in himself.
Yes, he is a horror film, and he had issues with him wanting to shoot in a like a Eastern European country to save money. And Malik only wanted to keep it like a Midwest. They always shot in the States, and like because it's got a Midwest look. You know, Eastern Europe does not look like the Midwest. So. And he had other issues that I don't really know about, but he just let the contract with them run out. He's like, "I'm not going to make this film with them." So it got shelved. So I was like, "Man, I'm never going to get to do this." And then fast forward to this past one, I got the call to come in, and that's kind of how all that went out. So that one I really wanted to play. I've always been an Indiana Jones fan.
Yeah.
But I just want to do good acting and good, whatever it is, like in drama or comedy. I just want to do good work.
There's definitely more to your ability or your skill set than just character acting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's important for, you to be able to express yourself in lots of genres rather
exactly and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's just that you have to break that barrier of what they see you as, and like I said, I'm grateful that I'm considered for stuff because I get a lot of offers and stuff, but sometimes you kind of have to show them, "Hey, I can do that. Yes, I know I can, but watch this, I can also do this." And then they see it and go, "Oh." It's like you got to show them it. That's the way this business is.
Yeah,
you can't just say it. They got to see it.
Yeah, there has to be some tangible evidence to it.
Evidence that they did it. Like my friends will cast me because they know, but people that don't know me may not know until they see it and go, "Okay, all right, well, yeah, he can do that. Okay."
Yeah.
So
it's only a matter of time, isn't it? Before
exactly. I'm not worried because it's already starting to happen. So it's just a slow thing,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You were, if I remember rightly from my research, you were doing Hellboy.
Yes.
When you found out about the Halloween Kills.
Yeah. No. Okay. So what happened? No. But you're sort of right. So when I was doing Hellboy, I was in Bulgaria, shooting in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
That guy Sean called me and said, "Hey, this is for the 2018 film, the first one with David Gordon Green."
Oh, okay.
Not Kills.
Not Kills.
I got a call he kept calling, and the phone wasn't working right, and we're on different hours. And finally we get a hold of each other, and he's like, "Hey, listen, David Gordon Green, the director of the last two Halloweens, is looking for his new Michael Myers. I can get you in the door."
Yeah.
They are looking for someone. He's interested in someone in their 60s, but I think it's worth a try just to meet him and see, since you were already gonna play him before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when? And he said, "Oh, and next week." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm in Bulgaria right now, man. I'm shooting Hellboy. I'm here for 3 months." He's like, "Oh, there's no way you could fly." and come to a meeting. I'm like, there's no way they're going to let me fly. It's just it's like a 2-day process, and I'm shooting. There's no time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like such a pain in the butt, those flights.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, dude, this is like a good opportunity for you. So I just couldn't do it, man.
No.
And
It's
not saying I would have gotten, because James was perfect. I mean, he's an amazing, James Courtney is such a great Michael Myers. I might never have gotten it, but the fact that I missed out on that really bothered me. I was like,
it's the not knowing, isn't it?
And also Hellboy didn't do well, you know. For a while I was like, you know what, at least I'm on Hellboy, it's going to be great. But you know, it didn't do so well. So then I was like,
I don't know. I think I think it hit right with a decent amount of. I enjoyed it. I thought.
Did you? Okay.
I thought it was good.
Okay.
I think a lot of people just. A lot of them are purists, and you change anything and they hate it. But if you look at it on as a production on its own, it's good.
I think the problem is that Guillermo del Toro did the first two.
Yeah.
And he has such an amazing, interesting style.
Yeah.
That this one was not that.
No.
And, you know, I think he's amazing. So it's hard to replicate what he could do. And also the budget was nowhere near the ones. And that's one of the reasons why he wouldn't direct. He said, he wanted like over 100,000 to do it. And they did it for like 45, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, not 1,000, but million, over 100 million. I said 1,000.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. But it's, that's but no, I like your scene with your fight scene was believable, which is
it's crazy. Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. And to be honest with you, in that movie, the guy that did it, Joel Harlow, does huge movies. He made this animatronic head that was fully functional. Eyes move, mouth moves, cheek moves. And what bothered me is it was so effective and so real. And there was literally a guy with 2 people with remote controls controlling my face, going with my action, fighting him. And the CGI just came in and like washed over all this stuff to make it look not as realistic.
Yeah. That's a shame.
That bothered me.
That
bothered me. Yeah, because it looks so real. It's real craftsmanship, and also it's literally looked like something that came out of a zoo. Like you look at it up close and you're going, oh my gosh. So to not shoot that on camera, like Guillermo doesn't do stuff like that. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Guillermo does stuff where he wants it to look as real as possible. And if he has to enhance something, he will.
Yeah.
But it'll never look fake.
No.
Like it did, like what they did.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things with shooting on a lower budget is you have to go with a CGI company that isn't as skilled, you know, it might. So
anyways. So CGI has failed movies a few.
It has. And that's
times.
But that's why practical is so amazing because like for instance, Mandalorian, I'm working on Mandalorian right now. I don't know if I've mentioned that.
No.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't tell you. Okay, yeah. I can't really talk about what I'm doing, but I'm on Mandalorian right now.
Amazing.
So what makes Mandalorian so amazing is Jon Favreau came in and said, I need all practical. So all those droids, all the baby Yoda, all that stuff is all animatronic. And when they need to enhance it with a little CGI, they will, but stuff is being shot on camera and your eye knows it.
And it's just touched up to make
it's touched up a little, but your eye will never go, oh, that looks like a video game, because you're actually seeing the character on camera, and the touch-ups you're not going to notice, as opposed to something like Hellboy, where so many characters are animated and, you know, stuff just, it starts to take you out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess it's difficult because obviously through the comics, the characters were larger than life. They were, they were so obscure that they,
it's hard. It's hard to do something really obscure and make it practical. It's because once it gets too big,
It's heavy.
It's like that abominog. It's like, forget about it. And also, I'm not going to be able to move like a superhero with 100 pounds of weight.
No,
you know,
no,
it's not going to look right. I'm going to be slow. You know,
So,
yeah.
So you mentioned you were in the Mandalorian. Can't say too much about it. Were you a Star Wars fan growing up?
I like Star Wars, but I have to say I was more of like a horror fan. I loved Indiana Jones and I loved Back to the Future. Those were like my things.
Back to the Future.
Oh, that was one of my. I got the skateboard. I got on the back of the car. I mean, I was like, this movie is amazing.
You wanted the self-lacing shoes.
I wanted the self-lacing shoes. I wanted a hoverboard.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just such a good, well done movie that still holds up.
Yeah. Well, apart from the fact that their future reality is the past to us now, and the technology is not quite there.
I know. This is crazy.
They're like, crazy. The year 2000.
I know.
We'll have hoverboards.
Isn't that funny to look back and see that?
Oh, yeah. They obviously had higher expectations than what we come up with. We need to have a word with Elon Musk, I think.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
No.
So yeah.
That is amazing. So like The Mandalorian, I can't wait to see what comes of that.
Yes.
Have you got any? Are you going to take a break? Because you seemed so busy recently.
I don't like taking breaks. I get little breaks in between, but I'm just the type of person that I need to be working all the time. It's just for me, it's just the way it is. I get so much out of it that I hate to be off for too long, because it's not work to me, really. No, I suppose it's if you love what you do, you're not really working. Yeah. No. The work is when I get home and I got to do stuff around the house. Okay. So a couple of things. Did you know that you've been ranked 9th best bald actor by IMDb? No, are you serious?
Yeah, you've been ranked number 9, and I'll tell you what, there's
best bald actor. That's hilarious.
There's some really good ones, but like below. So you've got. Samuel Jackson is below you.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
You have to check it out. If you go onto your own.
Oh my gosh, how do you find that? Where do you find that?
Go onto your IMDb on the internet, and then there's things like there's a poll. There's different polls that you've been put in. Okay. And you go on it, and you're number 9 on the best. And
people go on there and make these lists. Yeah, that's awesome. It's so my god, fun. I'm gonna have to look at this.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. You're ranked number 9.
Wow, under Samuel, what were they thinking?
That's it. I was showing some people, obviously, during the run up, because we planned this quite far ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
So we've been talking for a while through emails, etc., which I really appreciate. Staying in contact with me. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was showing people like your headshot from when you were sort of, I'm guessing around sort of 18.
Oh, is that the one when I did like the comparison, the video? Oh, yes.
The only thing that's changed is your hair. Your face is identical.
Oh no, dude, that was my first headshot when I was 16 or 17.
Your face hasn't changed.
A little bit.
Just the hair just appeared. I was like, you grew a beard a little for a while.
A little beard. Yeah, that was crazy. Like I did that and I was like, wow, it was like a trip for me to see those, because I remember, at certain points, like where I got the shots taken. And you know what I noticed? I noticed my eyes got a little more intense as the years went on. They got a little more intense.
They started seeing stuff.
Yeah, they were more innocent at first, very like innocent boy, to like, oh, this guy can be a little dark. That's what I noticed.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to take on some of the characteristics, I guess.
Dude, life takes over too, man. Nobody has a smooth existence at all times. There's always challenges.
So I was wondering, what have you ever been asked anything weird at an audition? To do anything strange at an audition?
Yes, I did, and I had one real strange one, and I don't know how this person got away with it. Well, like I said, I used to do basketball commercials a lot, and one time there was a casting director that said, okay, this is really strange, and this would never happen nowadays. This was in the 90s, mid 90s. He said, this director is going to want, you're going to have to be nude in the thing, and they're going to block you out on camera, but he's very insistent that you can't wear any kind of nude underwear. You have to be actually nude playing. So on this audition, if you're not comfortable being nude, then that's fine. We thank you for coming.
Right? How old were you?
I was about 19. And he was like, so would you be comfortable with being nude and playing basketball? And I was like, okay. So I literally got naked and started dribbling and playing in a small room while being filmed with a female casting director there and a male who was gay, who was also gay. And I just remember what the hell am I doing? It was so strange.
Is this what acting's happened. About?
Yeah, and I'm young, and I'm okay. And I just don't know why I did that and how that was able to happen. I mean, it's just crazy to think about now.
It's amazing. You know? It's amazing the risks or the things we try to do to make success.
But yes, exactly. No, I know exactly. But this guy wasn't he wasn't a guy that, just randomly put out a casting. He was a known casting director. So that's the reason why I ended up doing it, because he was somebody of stature.
Yeah. You assume that this might be
random
normal.
Guy of Craigslist. Yeah. I knew it wasn't normal because I've been on several that weren't, but I just was like, well, this guy is legit. He's not somebody weird, and we're in his studio. We're not at his apartment. Anyways, that was the weirdest one for sure.
And so have you been to any big sort of after parties, after red carpets? Have you had any interactions with other actors, that any unique
I mean, I've been to a lot of them. As far as unique in the way strange or just off. I'm trying to think. I don't think really out of the ordinary with that.
So there was
usually if you're with a celebrity and stuff, they're not going to do anything strange at a party like that, because that's that would be all over the
TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever been starstruck when you've met?
Absolutely. I was starstruck with Will Ferrell. I was starstruck with him. I worked with him on Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
For 3 months. And Danny McBride, you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Danny McBride was there too, but he wasn't really famous back then. Right. He was just starting to get his name out there. But Will Ferrell was definitely somebody that I was like,
oh my
gosh, dude, this guy, he's Will Ferrell. I mean, he's a superstar.
Well, he is.
Yeah.
And Robert England, how were you when you met him? It was
Robert England was that was smooth. I wasn't starstruck with him. I was just in awe of him. Because he's a talker and he loves talking about Freddie. Yeah. So he was telling me, I remember him telling me when we were both in the makeup chair, we were next to each other, and he's like, oh my God, this has been in the works for 10 years and finally it's happening. And I'm so excited. And I love, the music of Jason. It's more punk rock. And he got all into it. He's like, it's punk rock. And, ours has a certain tone and the mixture of the two. And he was going through all that stuff. I was like, he was firing me up actually.
Yeah. It's quite a charismatic, and the fact that he can turn it on.
He could turn it on.
He can turn on Freddie.
Fans, let me tell you, fans love him. I've been at several conventions with him. He's got lines going around the block, and he doesn't even work anymore because he makes so much money at these conventions.
He doesn't need to.
He doesn't have to. He won't make even a quarter of what he makes on a movie that he would at convention.
Yeah.
No way.
All he has to do is throw on a glove and that's it.
Well, that's what he does. And that's what's so great about him. He has his glove, his screen use glove from one of the movies, and he gets into it and he answers questions and he does his character, and he's awesome, man. Yeah. He's so cool.
It's prime time, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's quite an impressive.
He is. He's been in the UK a bunch of times at cons, right?
Yeah. He's well received at horror conventions because
so well received.
He's one of the godfathers, you know?
He really is. And he's so gracious and cool that that's the people you want to meet. Yeah. You know, they're legends.
Like you come across like someone that I would naturally want to talk to.
Absolutely.
All
the time. I honestly, that's another thing that I will go back to conventions is, getting to talk to people like you that are fans of the movies I've been in is as enjoyable for me because I'm feeding off energy that they're throwing at me that is so positive and so great. In an ordinary life, you don't get that kind of thing. So to go here, ordinary life, I mean my daily life with family and everybody. I go there and I'm a fan myself. Like I said, growing up watching these movies, I just happen to be blessed to get to be in them, but I'm still a fan at heart. So when I'm talking to this guy here and then this guy coming at me with such love and respect and, we're chatting and I'm chatting to you now, it feeds me. Yeah. So it's wonderful. Getting to go to UK, like I was supposed to go twice this year. I got asked to go to the London Film Comic Con and the other London Comic Con. I couldn't do either because of the Mandalorian. Yeah. But getting to meet people that have been following me on Facebook from the UK. There's several that I've messaged over the years, nice. would be amazing. I want to do the Manchester one.
Yeah. Whenever you're down, you have to let me know when you're in the area because that.
Are you in Manchester?
No, I'm in Surrey, but I'll travel.
How far is it from where you're at?
Probably 3 hours.
3 hours. And there's a big one in Manchester, right? That James Drew Courtney is going to be at.
Yeah. So and they pop up all the time. But if you're ever close, I would like to come down and shake your hand. We're allowed to do that again now, I think.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Like I've been doing them, and there's you're allowed to touch.
Yeah. I think it's so with how has COVID, if we're on the subject, how has COVID affected you at home? Like not work wise, how has it affected you?
It hasn't really affected me much. And as far as work goes, it actually worked in my favor because I had just shot my film and since I'm working so much, it would have been hard to finish editing it. But that whole pandemic, I just literally edited my film.
Amazing.
So it actually worked in my favor.
Yeah.
Obviously, it sucked to not be able to do things and go out, but it didn't really affect me. I have my house set up as like a gym, my backyard and all these other things. So I was able to, we hang out there all the time because we have a big backyard, the family.
Yeah.
So that was our safe haven. Like if I lived in an apartment, it would have been tough, to do that because you can't, nobody was going anywhere. No, you got to get outdoors. So I think having those things really made it not as hard as other people, just the work would be the one thing that I felt sucked. But that being said, the character, that scare actor character, all that was coming out of not being able to do stuff. Yeah. So I was able to make stuff up and create commercial like Mr. Clean and these other little things.
Good. I like that as well.
Yeah, stuff that I'm shooting on my own. Nobody's even, doing it. I'm doing it all on my own just because I'm like, hey, I got to do something. So
kill the boredom.
Yeah, exactly.
That is it. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Doug.
Thank you.
It really has. I'm not going to take much more of your time because
I'll say one more thing that I'm doing that I didn't get to mention.
Yeah, go.
So I obviously mentioned I'm on Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I'm also on, I just got cast this past week in Zack Snyder's new film. It's called Rebel Moon. So I'm starting that in a month, about a month. Yeah.
I'm guessing you can't say too much about that.
I can't say anything about it other than the fact that I'm cast in it, but he wrote it. Zack Snyder, Man of Steel, if you don't know, Justice League. He's directing and he's the writer of it. It's shooting in my town, LA. It's for Netflix, a movie for Netflix.
Nice.
So everybody will be able to see it and access it because everybody has Netflix now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like if you don't have Netflix, I mean, it's a staple now. Yeah. So it's exciting that I'm a part of that. So that's a new one. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yes, man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Douglas Tait.